today. His name is ARIAN. How are we doing, ARIAN?
Great, fantastic, and I've got some interesting stats actually for this game because I've been looking while Grandpa's been, blessing us with his wisdom, and I've got okay. So I think the main takeaway from this game is obviously great with the youth, fantastic stuff. We saw 4 teenagers play, ended up winning that game relatively easy. I don't think we ever really got out of second gear. And we take it 2-0 in going into the 90th minute, and 2-1 gets a little bit dicey in the last 5 minutes. But this is not an easy place to go to, going away to Ferencvaros, and I have the stats here. The Ferencvaros have not lost in the Europa League at home or any European competition at home since 2021, and some of the teams they've beaten were Fiorentina home and away. Or sorry, not beaten. These are undefeated. So some of these are wins, some of these are draws. Fiorentina home and away, Genk home and away, Red Star Belgrade at home, Monaco home and away, Trabzonspor from Turkey home, and Leverkusen at home. Do you know the last team that beat Ferencvaros away?
Yeah, it was Olympiacos in the Conference League last season.
Sorry, in the group stage,
Oh, group stages. Yeah. No, I don't. Who was it?
Ange Postecoglou's Celtic.
Was it really?
Only
yes, it was.
I can go away to Hungary and get the points. Come on.
So pretty interesting stuff, and he's brought the goods home today as well. So love to see it. I think it's a fantastic game. I think everybody enjoyed that game.
ARIAN, talk to me about Mikey Moore, because everyone was so excited to see him on the pitch today, and I thought he duly delivered with a fantastic performance. He really proved that he's kind of ready for this level, hasn't he?
I think so. I think of all the teenagers, he was definitely the brightest today. Just didn't look out of place at all. When Madison was saying he needs to pinch himself, he definitely looked older than he looked older than Bergvall, Gray, and Lancashire for me. I think absolutely the experience, the confidence, the composure, just on a different level. You would never guess that he's 17, 16, 18, I forget.
17, yeah.
17, unbelievable. And I think he's the youngest out of them too, isn't he? Which is even more crazy. What just phenomenal performance. And he could have gotten away with a goal or assist today if something's gone different. He had that one strike that he kind of hit on like a half volley that almost went into the bottom corner. And he also had that assist that he who shall not be named missed the 1-on-1 again. So
we'll call that an assist. We'll just call that an assist. He did get an assist today.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, anyone else is on the end of that to goal, even Lancashire.
So, do you think the youngsters who we know Gray and Bergvall will be making significant game time in the Premier League anyway, but Lancashire more getting their first starts today? Do you expect to see them now given in the Premier League more game time after tonight's performance?
I think I'd be surprised if I see Lancashire getting too many minutes, especially since Richie looks like he's coming back. I don't think he played poorly. I also don't think I think of all, maybe he had some moments where I'm thinking he could just do better. Like I think he could have definitely walked away with a goal had he done some things differently. But then again, also the first goal was kind of created by him and his chaos. I think Paulo O'Keefe said on Twitter, he's built like an ox, the kid. So, the physicality he's got and just the kind of way he bulldozes into the area, it is useful. But I think more though. I think everybody, even the fact that Bergvall and Gray have actually played Premier League minutes and Moore hasn't. I think Moore has made the biggest case for himself. I would be, especially if Sonny's still unavailable, I'd look at Moore. I'd look at him, and Ange said himself in the press conference. They asked him, "Do you think Moore is still not ready to start a Premier League game?" And he said, "I wouldn't say that." So I wouldn't say that either. Maybe if we still have left wing problems come Sunday, why not?
Well, so if Sonny's not fit, you're definitely going for Timo Moore over Timo. Is that what you're saying?
I would definitely think about it. I would definitely think about it. I think right now he's not on the form to be spacing more, because I think Moore played better than him today. And he was out of position. He normally plays on the left, and he played on the right, and he still outperformed Timo.
Yeah, I guess we got to talk about Brennan Johnson, man. 5 goals in his last 5 games, and he hits the bar, doesn't faze him, goes straight away and kisses the inside of the post to send us on our way 2-0. Wonderful finish that proved to be the winning goal. Yeah. I mean, you can just see the confidence radiating from him now, can't you?
And he's taking the shots. And as soon as he came on, I told my dad, I was like, "Dad, I promise you he's going to score." I'll call him over right now and ask him if I said that. I said,
I believe you, Ariane.
I literally was like, you could see it. It's like he's got an aura about him right now. Every time, everything he touches turns to gold because he's shooting. He's shooting. He's got the confidence to be shooting. And a lot of times last season, if he's in that position, a lot of times this game also, some of them like that got blocked and didn't make the target. He's hitting him with his weak foot. He's trying to get them on goal because he has the confidence to go for it. And we could see it. I mean, he's hitting the crossbar with what would have been a fantastic goal had that one gone in. But it didn't matter because he ended up topping it with inch perfect finish. Because that goal, it wasn't a bad dive. The keeper saw it all the way and just he couldn't get it because it was placed absolutely perfectly. 1 inch to the left, that's out and that's wide. 1 inch. I mean, he's got that spot on.
Yeah, perfect. So Ange in his post-match interview said Tottenham's football is evolving, and he said he's seeing evidence of that in the past few games. Do you agree with that? Do you see Tottenham really building some momentum now?
Absolutely, and I've been saying it all season. We look so much more complete, and we're looking more complete every time. Like, we have so many avenues. Last season, I think the biggest frustration was that we didn't have that many avenues of attack. And as soon as teams figured out that they could sit a little bit deeper and neutralize Son, who wasn't very physical and he didn't have much about him outside of his brilliant finishing, we really got neutralized pretty easily. But now we have so many different profiles, midfield, attack, defense even. We've got so many different profiles that it's difficult for teams to prepare against us. And like the in-game management from Ange is superb. We've got players like Kulusevski and Bergwall who you don't need to pass to get past you. We got players like Madison who can place an inch perfect pass on the right time. We got Brennan and Son who can find the right finish. We got Solanke and Richarlison who have that hold up play. I mean, you name it, we've got it. We've got also players who can play across the entire back line. I've seen Spence and Archie Gray play everywhere. We've seen, obviously we all know how brilliant Romero and Mickey Van de Ven are. I mean, you name it, we've got it in this team, and we're evolving in so many different ways. Every time, like, the football is getting so exciting. It's looking, I would say it's starting to get better than the first 10 games of last season. I really would, because last 10 games we were electric, we were quick, but I don't think we were as dynamic. I really don't think we were as like what's up?
No, carry on. I was about to say something, but carry on.
I think we've got more to us than we did in those first 10 games. I think we were brilliant at what we did in those first 10 games, but I think right now we're good at more things than we are in those first 10 games.
I actually completely agree with that, and I think the way that we are playing now is better than the last 10 games. But what I'm hearing from you that maybe a title race in the offing this season. What are you saying?
We're 5 points off the top. That's all I'm saying. That's all. We're only 5 points off the top. Is all I'm saying.
Oh man, it's just so good to see this team finally kind of get the results consistently. 5 wins in the last 5 games, because you saw this was kind of all coming together even in the early parts, in the first few games of the season. We just weren't putting the results away, and now we're finally putting these results away. So it's so important to show this kind of dominance and performance against Brighton, but get the 3 points on the board as well.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I remember I'd come on, I'd be on Twitter, everything, when we wouldn't get a result, and it was like, because not the performances. And I said this last time, statistics always win. You play properly, you play well. I know it's a little bit whatever, it's modern and it's a little annoying sometimes, but the XG, the numbers and all that, all the underlying numbers, if they're going to be good enough for a long enough time, the results will come. Like, that is statistics, all right? Anybody who's into any amount of math will tell you that at some point the statistics will always win. They don't lie. And our statistics have been good, and they're coming good, and they're going to come good, and they're going to keep coming good, because we are good. We are good. We are Tottenham Hotspur. We are amazing. We're playing amazing football.
And, Ange is really, I think, managing the squad really well, isn't he? The likes of Van de Ven getting a rest tonight. Solanke only played 10 minutes. Obviously, we got Decky and Madison got a decent rest, although they had to play about 20 minutes tonight. Brennan as well didn't start yet. We still came away with the victory. So what does that tell you about the state of the squad, that we're able to make so many changes yet still come away with 3 points?
Oh, it's brilliant. Ange himself said that he's got he's changed up some stuff in the sports science and the health department staff, and I think it's been showing. I don't think we've had that many injury worries this season, and I think part of that is also just because we have players we can actually rely on. Last season, I think when we were so unfortunate to get that Van de Ven injuries because we couldn't rest him at all. He played every single game until he got hurt. Now we got Dragoshin. Now we can rely on Davies. Even Archie Gray can fill in a center back. We've got players, and Dorrington is still in the squad too. So kind of a shame not to see him today. But we've got so many players that we can actually fill in now, and it's what's kind of be able to hold our momentum. Because how many times have we gotten stifled by an injury crisis? How many times has that happened to us in the last 5 years? A trillion times. And
pretty much every season.
Yeah. Exactly. And if we can avoid that, and it looks like we're on our way to avoiding it this season, knock on wood, my floor is wooden, hang on, game minute.
It is only 6 or 7 games in, ARIAN. It's a long way to go.
Exactly. If we can keep, it took us 10 games last season. Don't count it out. But if we can keep this going and we can keep managing this guy, because we're not getting full 90s every single minute, and it's always been the problem with Europe, with us specifically, because I remember Nuno tried to play that rotated 11 against Mura in the Conference League or whatever it was, and we lost 1-0. So the rotated sides have never had that level about them, and now it seems like they do, and it's brilliant to see. So we can actually give our first team players. We left Son and Udogie at home. We didn't even bring him, and we still got the result. That's amazing. Some time ago, we'd have to bring on Kane against Colchester and Son against Colchester and still lose the penalty shootout. That's where we've come from. I need people to remember that is where we've come from, and now we're here with 4 teenagers who've played 20 minutes of Premier League football combined starting, and we took a result against the same team that hasn't lost in the group stages at home for 7 games in a row. That is a big deal.
And I was saying this to Sim, I think on the match reaction after the game, that in years gone by, whether it be under Pochettino or whichever manager, or Mourinho, whichever manager it would be, we would play a kind of a much changed team in the Europa League. But the first team players that did play, they thought they were a bit above it. They didn't think they deserved to be in these kind of competitions. How much of a breath of fresh air is it that the likes of Romero, Porro, and these kind of players just put in proper top performances tonight?
It's the mentality thing, and that's what a real mentality is. Not coming into the press conference to say the situation. It's a real mentality change, and the players are playing for the badge. They're not playing for themselves. They're not playing for their wages. They're playing for the coach, and they're playing for the fans, and they're playing for the badge. And you can see it because they don't think they're above anything. You're on that field. It's a privilege to be on that field, and they play like it's a privilege. I mean, Pedro Porro today, man of the match for me. What a performance that was! Especially in that first 45, he could have walked away with a goal and an assist and a penalty and everything else in between. Just absolutely brilliant stuff from him. And he's the first team player who's been playing every single minute for us, pretty much. Romero as well. He captained us tonight, and everybody is saying, "Oh, his head's in Barcelona, his head's in Real Madrid. He's not in it with us anymore." And I mean, that's nonsense. Head's in Real Madrid, but he's putting a performance like that against Ferencvaros in the Europa League. I mean, seriously. So it's all a bunch of nonsense, all negative stuff that people they just want to paint a negative picture around it. But Ange has instilled a mentality, and these players. I remember Decky when he scored against Chelsea. In that pretty bad game, he did this celebration, and he explained it later. He said the celebration was dedicated to Ange. He said, "Don't listen to the fans. Don't listen. Sorry, the fans on Twitter. Listen to me, my tactics. We got this. It's tunnel vision. Just us, just the squad, and they're showing. It's all tunnel vision. Eyes on the prize, and you can see it. Eyes on the prize. I love it."
Love it. ARIAN, just as you're speaking there, Porto have gone 3-2 up in the Europa League, turned around a 2-0 deficit from Manchester United, which surely is spelling the end of Ten Hag. But I'll leave you on that happy note. So thank you very much for coming on.
And as always, come on, you Spurs!
Come on. Big up, ARIAN.